soils which are not fertile, what is to be done is add the tila to that. So we decided if the Mother Earth is strong, she alone can give birth to the children. As such, to give the birth to the children, what is to be done is you have to make the mother a fertile woman, that is the Mother Earth must be done a fertile woman. This fertile woman makes the people who are dead, they have to take back the life, that is called as Pitru. So if the Pitrus have to take birth, the earth must be made stronger. This is what is called as Pitrudana. Consequently, we offered Tila on the Sankranti day only to make the Mother Earth more and more stronger. That is the purpose with which it has been done. Tila gives necessary strength to the Mother Earth. It also gives necessary strength to all the female in the world, because the earth is also a female. That is why when the female becomes, that is when she reaches the puberty stage, what is to be done is her Garbhakosha strength is to be increased. As the Garbhakosha of the Mother Earth is increased by offering the Tila, similarly the Garbhakosha of a small girl who wants to become a mother at a future date, when the puberty period commences, she must also be given the Tila. That is why the Tila ball with the jaggery has been given. It purifies the whole, the Garbhakoshas, and automatically she becomes strong. The Manudharma says she must be offered 59 times the menses period, this Tila, so that she becomes a strong woman capable of bearing good children. Because today we have lost these habits, consequently the woman is becoming weak, not able to bear the children. Even 1 or 2 children becomes very difficult on their health. Again a practice must come that are giving the Tila for the 59 cycles of the menses period, that is 59 months, till such time the Garbhakosha develops and it becomes healthy Garbhakosha. When one is offered once a day for 3 days, if it is offered, that is for a period of 59 cycles, every human becomes strong. There is no necessity of any other medicine other than this. So the Sankranti has got this significant factor. So Sankranti gives the necessary wealth for the human being. The wealth comes in the form of an oil, that is the fat that is existing in the human body for the muscle to work. This is the fat alone is enough. No, they said what is needed. Not merely the fat, but also what is needed is you need strength for the RBC and the WBC, the red blood cells. The red blood cell basically consists of sugar. It needs sugar also. So if sugar is needed, what is to be done? Then you have to use the jaggery. So they gave the Tila with the jaggery, telling that you have enough muscles, let your blood be strong. That is what I wish in the Sankranti day. As such, what we did is we offered the Tila, we offered the jaggery on that day, and the purest jaggery comes from the sugar cane. So we gave the sugar cane also, telling that let your life be full of strength. Let your life be full of strength. Let you have enough RBC, that is the sugar needed for the blood. You have enough muscles for the working principles of the human body. And this has become a practice and a customary practice for the human being, because we are celebrating the festival of the Sankranti in this particular day. This is also called as Sankramana. It means the entire water gains its strength because of the heat. The snow melts, consequently it produces the water. The water brings all the parivartana. So the parivartana is called Parvati. So the water always symbolizes Parvati. Anything that brings parivartana in this world is called Parvati. Since the earth's all the parivartana or the physiological changes is done by the water is called Parvati. The water comes from the sky. It comes from the cloud. When the cloud, the water is moving, the hill or the parvata obstructs its motion. Consequently, the rainfall takes place. So the rainfall, you get the water. That water is called Parvati. So the Parvati has taken Janana in the earth because of the obstruction of the Parvata. As such, the Purana story says that Parvati is the daughter of the Parvataraja. Symbolizes the scientific aspect that how the water has taken birth. Also, the Parvati takes birth on account of the Hima. That is why he is called as the daughter of that is Himavantaraja, or Haimavati she is called as. So this way it says, so if that is the case, the Parvati basically symbolizes the water. So the water in the earth is called as Parvati. The earth is what is called as Ishvara. The Agni in the earth is called as Vishnu. The air within the atmosphere is called as Anjaneya, Maruti, Sugriva, so on and so forth. Angada, different names for the air has been given. So the Panchabhutas are the God in the Hinduism. So obtaining the strength from the Panchabhuta is the purpose of the Agama Shastra. That is why in the Agama we have taken, the temples have been kept only to transfer the energy from the physical body to the Vigraha, and from the Vigraha, that is back to the physical body. That is a process of transfer through air. Whenever the air is transferred through, whenever the energy is transferred through the air, it is called as Tantra Shastra. So this Agama basically signifies the Tantra Shastra, and in the Tantra, the energy has been transferred through what is called as the Veda Mantra, which is the prana of the human body. The prana of the human body, there is a variation of 4,32,000 changes in the physical body. These 4,32,000 changes are represented by 4,32,000 letters. This is called as Vedaksharas, and as 4,32,000 letters represent the various physiological changes that takes place in the earth atmosphere, and these changes are grouped to have different changes, what is called as the Veda Mantra, and through the Veda Mantras you are inducing the energy in the idol. Idol is not having energy on its own. It is the Veda Mantra that has got the energy. The transfer is done through a perfect technical method of transfer, how to transfer these waves into the energy of the stone. So whenever we want, we can take back. It means from your prana you are giving the prana to the idol. That is called as Pranapatisthapana, and the idol has been energized and you take back whenever you are short of that energy. So transferring the energy from the physical body to the idol and from idol to the physical body is under the command of the human. So the man will be under the command of the God to get the energy. So the God is not the supreme here, the supreme is the Veda Mantra. The person who knows the Veda Mantra is the supreme. As such, that person who knows what is the secrecies of the Veda Mantra is called Brahmana. So Brahmana will not come by birth. Brahmana is one who has really visualized the Vedas. As such, the God is under the control of the Brahmana. That is why I say the Devaru is called God. Devaru is Mantradina. Mantra is the Adina of the Brahmana. As such, in this temple worship, the God is not the master. The man is the master. But he has to give the strength to the God and take back that energy. Whereas in the case of the religion, the God is the supreme master. Nobody can be greater than that. They have to only beg. Here it comes under a command, we draw the energy. There we beg the energy. So religion aims at making a man beggar, whereas the Dharma aims making a man as strong as his father. Since we have been brought by the mightiest energy called as the Almighty, it is the mightiest of all energies, we call it as Paramatma. And Paramatma or the Almighty is my father. Every human being has a right to become as mighty as the Almighty, because everyone is entitled to become as strong as his father. As the Veda Dharma says, become mighty, become stronger, become as mighty as the Almighty. As such, when once you become mighty, you need not beg anybody. So the question of begging does not arise in the Dharma, whereas the question of begging arises in the case of the religion. So religion makes a man a beggar. But Dharma will never say, no, you become the mighty, you become as mighty as the Almighty. The Almighty is in the Sahasrara. Take the mind in the Yoga Shastra, become as powerful as you want. As such, the Veda preaches, makes a man, every person in this earth, the strongest person, and he will not be made any subservient. That is to be done only by conquering himself. So in this way, the Uttarayana is to be commenced, that is the Sankranti. We will go to the corresponding Dakshinayana. And also tomorrow we will take the various festivals, that is called as Yugadi. What happens in the Yugadi, how this has been brought out, what is Ramanavami, what is Shivaratri, what is Ratha Saptami, all these things coming under Uttarayana. And in the Dakshinayana we have commences with a festival called as Bhimana Amavasya in the Ashada Masa. Then we have got Varalakshmi Puja in the Shravana Masa. Then we have got Vinayaka Chaturthi in the Bhadrapada Masa. Then we have got an Ashveda Masa, a Deepavali festival. Then we have got the Kartika Masa. Then in the Kartika Masa, the Balipaddimi and all those things are there. Then we will get into the last festival, that is what is called as the Margashira Masa, called as Uttana Dwadashi, and how these festivals are to be celebrated within the human body through Yoga Shastra. That was how it was. So for practicing the Yoga Shastra, they fixed a date. That date is called as Chaturmasa, which commences in Ashada Shuddha Bhadadashimi. That particular day, why they had taken, what is this Ashada Masa. We will consider all these things. because the purpose of life is to move